good news is Jeff stopped thinking years ago.
Yeah,
So,
it served me well.
yeah. So I want to throw a question out there, and whoever wants to answer can jump in. But Carl talked about that this business isn't about reaching a rank or building volume or earning commissions. That's the byproduct of getting people results. And so, that's what our focus is. That's what our DNA is focusing on getting people results. We know that, many people are doing that through challenge groups and that focus. And we just introduced the challenge app. But I'm just curious from anyone who wants to jump in, what are the ways that you, through your challenge groups, get people to get results? I remember just real briefly looking at this study that talked about that it's I know it seems hard to get people to say yes, but it's even harder once they say yes to actually get them engaged and actually doing something. So how do it looks like Anita, you want to jump in there?
$50 gift card to Nike. Like, my people go nuts for that. Like, they stay on board every week. They're like, I can win this gift card. So like prizes, little prizes, or like a lunchbox, or I don't know what the budget limit is, compliance. I don't know what that limit is. Are we allowed to do
Anyone else want to jump in on
Who
this
else
one?
wants to jump in? No, actually, I don't know the rule, but there is because whenever Gelfan's talking, I kind of zone out. But there are, you can, through compliance, learn, there is a protocol by which you can create incentives for recognition and rewards for people getting things done, but there are lines you have to be careful, so make sure you check in with
Cannot be
compliance.
for recruiting.
And
Cannot be for
absolutely
recruiting.
not for
Absolutely
recruiting.
not.
You can't say, sign up and I'll give you a $50 PayPal gift certificate so no one will know. You can't do that, absolutely. But little incentives to keep people going and promotions, things like that, that is allowable. We were just kidding. Who else? Megan?
I think what really helps in my challenge groups is empowering people from the very beginning. Our very first day, we don't talk about anything health and fitness. It's all about, tell me about you. I want to know everything about your family, what you do for a living, what your favorite color is, whatever it is. Just really breaking the ice from the beginning. And then throughout the challenge group, I'll do posts that really have them share a story and kind of get them to start doing the activities that a coach does already. Because we all know that challengers make fantastic coaches. So that's kind of what I focus on throughout the challenge group is how about today we share one victory that you've had over the past however many weeks on your Facebook page, and then we're going to go over there and cheer you on and really support you because you've done a fantastic job, and we want to celebrate that. So any kind of empowerment or like the games are fun, water tag and little contests and stuff like that, but really having them start sharing those stories and encouraging them to do that on their social media. So also, when you come around and invite them to join your team, it's a piece of cake, it's like, hey, you're already doing it. You're a pro. So
that same thing? Sorry, this is even worse now. Jumping on that, you have to get in and set clear expectations. And I think a lot of people just jump in, they buy the challenge pack, and they just wing it, And I think if you set really clear expectations of, if you fall off, this is in the beginning when they're most motivated, right? Say like, if I stop seeing you show up to the group, how do you want me to approach you? Because I want to be able to help, coach you through this process. And I know there's going to be times where it's going to be difficult. So ahead of even start date, saying, how do you want me to reach out to you? Do you want me to text you? Do you want me to be like the Jillian Michaels type coach? Or do you want me to be like the loving Bob? Which one do you want me to be? Who do you need me to be as your coach? So that you have that set expectation. And that way when they do fall off, you can say, hey, remember when we talked in the beginning and you said you wanted me to reach out to you and be Jillian Michaels? Well, I'm telling you, get your butt up and get on. I haven't seen you in 48 hours, whatever. So it makes it so much easier for you to be a coach. You're not so scared that you're going to offend them or anything like that. You set that clear expectation.
Yeah, I remember, Lindsay, when we first introduced challenge groups, and you were, I think it was a leadership event, and you were like really straightforward going into the challenge group, what they should have, you set the expectations before they joined.
Yeah, you teach people how to treat you, both in the challenge groups and as coaches. And the reason why some of these coaches, their new coaches treat them with more respect is because we demand that. It's the same thing in every relationship that you guys are in, whether it be marriage, friends, whatever. If you have friends taking advantage of you, guess what? You've allowed them to treat you that way. You've almost taught them to treat you that was okay. So that was something that was really important to me, that I wanted to be respected, and so I demand respect.
So Jeff, before I throw you the next question,
Amy wanted to.
Amy, jump in. Where are you going?
Sorry, I'm hiding back here. I also really wanted to say, you know, like, focus on the education. I think sometimes people, you know, like, think about your group as like a place that you have the opportunity to teach people about actually like wellness and like living a better life. You know, include the personal development, include little things about teaching about Shakeology. Ask them, what do you want videos about? And then let them pick the topics that you pick the video about. You know, I really think like if like what Lindsay said, putting the ball in their court and letting them know like if they want something they need to ask you, like you're not a mind reader, and like really focusing on the fact that you're there to help teach them and create those discussions and community in there. And it's not just like, you know, you teaching them, like they need to include themselves in the group and be a part of the community as well, I think is super, super important.
Awesome. Jeff, just before I'll give you the last question, but Jonathan just sent me a very lengthy, Jonathan Gelfand just sent me a very lengthy text, which I zoned out of after the first couple sentences, but I did get out that there is a $50 limit on
But no Nike.
reward incentives and things like that. And Jonathan, I will do my best to, probably not. Go ahead, John.
All right. I'm actually going to do two, one to the entire group, but just on the closing out on the challenge groups. We just introduced the challenge tracker. I know Mel, just very succinctly, if you can, I know you've been a fan of it, used it. Can you just maybe talk for 30 seconds on the pros, what you've seen, how it's helped?
So I've used the challenge tracker app. This is my third challenge group I've started in there so far. The things that I love the most are that I can see who has accepted an invite, so who's actually in the group, because you know on Facebook you add people and you don't know that they've ever gone into the group to look, right? And so before it even starts, I know who has gone in, who's done their before pictures, who's written out their goals. But then also, I can see when they've logged in last. And so if I go to my list of participants and I see that it has been 48 hours since they've checked in, you can actually send them a message that goes directly to their inbox, their email, and they can respond back. And so then that's a great conversation starter outside of the group. If they feel uncomfortable sharing something in the group, they can share it with me through a personal message. So that I absolutely love. And I also like that I can see how many workouts, how many Shakeologies they've drank, but I really can get a good picture as the leader of are they being consistent, you know, where are they falling off. And so that's helped me, I would say, with helping people to get better results is by using that tool.
Fantastic. One of the characteristics that I've remarked about our elite 10, and it's a common characteristic, is something Carl talked about just a couple days ago, is this concept of non-negotiability. That somewhere, sometime in their business, they've made a decision, they've made a commitment that certain pieces are going to be non-negotiable as they drive their business. So I'd like to just go down the line as we close this out, and you think about, here's the one thing in my business that has been a non-negotiable that has helped me create great success. You.
Sharing my life authentically. How much do you want me to say something? Okay, sharing my life. Just take your camera and turn it around and face yourself and do some selfies and talk about you. Share about what's going on in your life, your challenges, your successes, your struggles. I think that's super important. If you don't put yourself out there on social media, that's kind of your storefront. You're not gonna be attracting people to your business. So yeah.
I think treating my business like a business. I think a lot of people want the results that some of us have had up here, but you treating your business like a hobby and you're not taking this very seriously. And I think so if you treat your business like a business, you've got business hours, not just checking messages like here and there, but you have business hours, you have things that you do, you work from a list every single day, and legitimately treat this like it's a storefront that opens and closes every single day, and you are going to show up for it and do the activities. You're gonna have much more success than treating it like a hobby.
I have two. Number one is never, ever, ever comparing yourself to someone else. And I know that it can be hard to sit there and hear someone share numbers and say, oh, I recruit this many, or I hit this many Success Club points, or I invite this many. But the truth is, you don't want to do what someone else did, because you're a completely different person and you appeal to a completely different audience. And it is the biggest time waster to compare yourself to someone else, because even just the 10 of us sitting here, we're all so different, from such different backgrounds, families, everything. I could never have the same success that Amy has, or Lindsay has, or anyone else up here, because I'm not them. You want to do you, and you want to do you really, really good. And it's only going to harm you if you're looking at everybody else's papers. So keep your blinders on, and your non-negotiables every day, your 3 vital behaviors times 30, and only do you. No one else does you as good as you do.
Yeah. I would say for me, since I'm such I always have 10 things going on. I'm an Aries. I'm very into multitasking. I have to have tons and tons of stuff happening. For me, just really focusing on the task at hand. I think when I first started focusing and doing what I set down to do versus the notifications and the tings and the things, and I turned off all my notifications on my phone. My phone is always black. There's no notifications popping up, always distracting me. I'm a sapphire, so I if a bird flies by, I'm like, ooh, I get very distracted. And so I remember the first time I sat down to be a focused worker and be productive, I closed every single tab except for my email, and I just went through it, and I was like, oh my god, it took 10 minutes versus 5 hours. And I was able to start working faster and faster and faster and faster, and then I was able to start actually living my life and working versus being stuck on Facebook for 24 hours a day. You're on Facebook 24 hours a day because you're not productive, not because Facebook is sucking your time. Just remember that.
So for me, it's probably been staying in a constant state of growth, not becoming complacent. It's easy in this business. You achieve milestones that you never thought you would achieve. Obviously the financial side of it's ridiculous, but I always want to remember the girl who I was 6 years ago, who was lost, and that's the girl that I'm speaking to, and I grow on her behalf, because I know the more that I personally grow, the more I can pour into those people that I'm blessed to come across and pay that forward, and I just want to continue to be on that path with this.
So I think it's there's two things. I think having a plan is so important. You just can't go through this business just sort of winging it. Challenge group here, Monday I'll start doing a sneak peek, next week I'll run a free group. You really have to sit down and have a game plan for your business that you duplicate every single month so you get into a rhythm that you can teach. But then also, I believe that you have to have belief in yourself. And you have to say, against all odds, against all things that have happened in my life, no matter what I look like, no matter what my shape or size is, you have to look in the mirror and say, I believe without a shadow of a doubt I'm going to be successful. I don't know how, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I just know that God created me to do something bigger, and I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to keep going because I just know that it's within me to do something great. And I think when you believe and you have a plan, then you're going to be led on that right path, and you're going to have success.
I have two quick ones. One is not letting your current life situations keep you from getting what you want. I got up here to where I am now, being very, very pregnant last year, and there was a minute when I said, no one's going to take me seriously, everything's going to go downhill, it's just going to be a mess, but, I had to kind of gather myself and say, no, I'm going to let this be my story, and, let your current life situations, whatever it is, help you mold your story and share all of it, share the heck out of it, because there's so many people out there that can relate to you, and that's when my business took off. I thought it was going to be like this fitness superstar at one point, And no, it turns out I found all of my, people, the people that related with me the most was when I, went through my pregnancy and all that good stuff. And my second one is getting to an event, or getting to all the events. Summit was my biggest turning point in this business. I kind of went from, Sapphire, who just wanted to go to Vegas, and I get to Vegas and I just soaked up every minute of it. I watched some of these coaches up here on stage, and they were just normal moms, and they were me, and I looked at them and I said, I want that. I'm going to go after that. And so much happened at that event, and I will always get myself to as many events as possible to feed off that energy and keep going. I am going to snowball, and say that I think the biggest thing for me was being open and being vulnerable to sharing my story, because my story is what makes me unique in this business, and it's the same for a lot of you out there. I think I was a guest on my uplines team call like 5 days into coaching. Pretty sure I spent the whole day in the bathroom before that happened. But it was very scary, and on that call, 5 days as a new coach, I was able to share, overcoming anorexia and bulimia and marriage struggles and things like that. And from that day forward, it was like, you just open the door for so many people to just connect with you and have that common ground with you, and it's a conversation starter. So definitely not putting up a wall and opening up and being you, and hit Success Club. Gets to us and we're like, what she said. Ditto. Yeah, I was actually thinking what Megan said, let your struggles be your strength. This is life, you guys. Like, people are unfortunately going to die. You're going to have relationships, crumble. But what you can do for you, you have to work on yourself. You have to fill your cup and grow inside so that you can pour into others, and you can, be the best friend to your, team, or whoever, your spouse, whoever that is. Just honestly show up every single day, no matter what. There's going to be a lot more hard days than there are good days, but just honestly really, show up every single day. I mean, that's what I've done.
Do I not have the hardest job? I have to sum it all up, but 7 of us did a Success Club, a group thing together. I don't know if any of you guys were a part of that, but yay, that was so much fun. But one of the things that we ended with our little live, see, I'm so bad at that. What is it, Hangout? Is that what we did? We did Hangout. And I had mentioned that I want you should, as brand new coaches or coaches just getting your feet wet, is to be able to stand on a stage just like this, with your shoulders back and your head up, saying, I am a Beachbody coach, and I am so proud to be one. You are so different than anybody else. And so it's not just a matter of you being a part of an MLM or network marketing. You're a coach, you are changing lives, you are saving lives. So put your shoulders back, be proud of it, scream it from the rooftops, and let people know what you do, because otherwise they're not going to know. And so they're going to go to the next person that is going to scream it out, probably one of these 9. So you be the person to scream it out for them to go, I want that enthusiasm in my life, and so that they come to you and become a coach on your team.
Awesome. So just as we wrap up, 4 vital behaviors. The 4th one that was just introduced was recognition. So our next big event is Super Saturday, and after that, our next big event is that we'll be taking these 10 lovely ladies to Bora Bora to celebrate their amazing accomplishments as leaders in this organization. And so first I want to congratulate you all for that, and thank you for today. But the other thing in closing is that there's so many successes that happen for all of you along the way to being an Elite 10 coach. So whether it's the first person that you've helped get results, or when you become a diamond coach, or when you become a team leader coach, or when you become a premier coach or an elite coach, make sure that know that we are proud of all of those successes. and that while we applaud all of these 10 ladies for what they do, I know that on behalf of the company, Jeff and I applaud each and every one of you for everything that you're doing as coaches and all of your success. And this is going to be sort of the last time on this cruise that we're able to kind of have a microphone in front of us. So want to also just thank all of you for making this just an incredible Success Club SS Beachbody trip. It's been fabulous. It's always fabulous when we get all the coaches together. So just we thank you for everything. So thanks for everything.